Hi everyone, I'm here with Kate Harrison, and we're going to talk about something specific in a minute. But Kate, hi, I wonder if you could just say a few things about yourself and how you found 2020 so far.
Hi, so I'm Kate, and I'm mother of Jaina, who's 14, nearly 15, and my husband Stuart, and we've got a dog, Putney. And 2020 has been pretty much the worst year ever, I would say. It's had some really horrible things in it, and there have been some really dark moments. And I've actually had some very dark moments in my time. But interestingly, this year it was dark, not for the big things, but more for the little things. And yeah, anyway. But I will be glad to see the back of this year. I really will.
Yeah, I think when we've had a discussion, I'll ask you some things maybe that we can pray for you for the rest of the year, but so have a think about that while I ask you something else as well. Okay. So Kate, a few weeks ago, I think it was the beginning of October, I was sitting at my my computer, and an email came in from you, and it had the title "Worship Offering from the Heart," and quite often, I have to admit, emails come in and they don't have very interesting titles, and I don't open them for ages. But I opened that one, and in it you were explaining how you had put together a virtual band and made a song which is called "You Don't Miss a Thing." And I thought it was a really interesting email because I don't know if people realise, but putting together services online is way more difficult than doing it kind of for real, for gathered services, and it's way more lonely as well. And so when people send me things, I'm ever so happy, and most of the time people send me things because I've asked them to do something, and but you had done something because you'd felt called by God to do it. And your email was so funny because just about every other sentence was trying to give me a way out if I didn't want to use it in a service, but I really do. And I thought it would be quite good if we could just talk a little bit about what led you to taking that step, and particularly in making that song with a virtual band. I wonder if you could tell us a bit about that.
Okay, happily. The problem will be getting me to shut up. So the song is one that I've used to find solace in and comfort for years. And it's always, when you have a playlist that you go back to and it cheers you up. And every time I sort of heard it done by the professionals, I've always thought what a beautiful song and how important the words were, and obviously how much comfort I get from it. Now, that's kind of history. Now, coming into 2020, because of so many global things, with obviously the pandemic, but the fires, that we had to start the year with the fires that were going on everywhere, it seemed, and the wildlife, and the horrors and environmental issues, and then suddenly, bam, we were all prisoners in our own home. And in the background of all of that, I found my depression, which I've always had and I've talked very freely about. It was being triggered not by big things anymore, it was being triggered by little things. And I was praying so hard, as I'm sure all Christians were this year, praying for an end to the fires, praying for a cure, a solution, for easing of the deaths, for just at the time for medical staff to actually find out what this disease was, and so on and so forth. So I was praying and praying and praying and praying into the big things. And at the same time, all the little things that normally happen in your day to day. And I just scribbled down a few notes really. And it's like, things like my back, which broke. It's not broken, but damaged 2 discs and a trapped sciatic nerve. So I've been in large amounts of agony for about 8 months. And all this was happening in the lockdown, and it just made it so much harder. And our dog got really poorly, and he had a cancer scare, and then he went blind, and and then Jana got really poorly because of the lockdown, and my dad had a heart operation, my brother-in-law was really poorly, and suddenly all these things were piling and piling and piling, and I couldn't see an end to any of my prayers. And I just felt guilty praying into personal things, little things, things that affected me, because God must be so busy with the global stuff. And then I stumbled upon that song again. And it's the words, "In a crowd of 10,000, you don't miss a thing." And it reminded me that it doesn't matter how chaotic and destroyed the world appears to be, how out of control everything is, even the so-say little things that only affect me as an individual, God still cares. It's still okay. He's still listening. He's there, And I suddenly felt compelled to share that message with everybody who hadn't heard that song before. And that's where I got, and it was a real labor of love, because nobody knew it. The musicians didn't know it. And I'm not a worship leader. I didn't have any of the equipment I needed to set this up. So I just, it was a real punt. I was just stepping out in the absolute unknown with a song I didn't know, badgering, well, I knew it, but my friends didn't, badgering my friends who were all thankfully very talented, and saying, I feel we've got to do this. We have got to do this. God's telling me to get this message out so people know that God is there. You in the 10,000, the grain of sand, whatever, God's there and he hears you. So that's the story
Brilliant.
behind it.
Thank you. We're going to put that on next. You don't miss a thing. And so just for those watching, just to invite you to use the song as a time of reflection, and just to think about those wonderful truths that Kate has shared with us about God actually being deeply and intimately interested in the details of your life. So I'll put that on in a moment. Just before we say goodbye, Kate, I wonder if there is something that perhaps you'd be willing to share that we could pray for you.
I suppose, gosh, there's so many things I could ask you to pray for. But one that does come to mind is my back, because it is still bad, and I'm still on a cocktail of drugs, and it interrupts my sleep, and so it's making me cranky and uncomfortable. So I suppose the healing into that, because I'm waiting for appointments and things, so that would be lovely. But on a more spiritual level, I suppose protection for my family, both my immediate family, Jane and Stuart, but also my sister and my parents, and in fact all my close friends as well, that we're all protected against darkness. Just pray that we can all hold on to the light whenever things get bleak or gloomy. And I pray that for everyone, really. If we all pray for each other to just hold on to light, then maybe we'll all get through this in one piece.
All my fears are put to rest. comes the sonnet. When you laugh, the storm around me ceases. You whisper, and all my enemies are scattered. You surround me with angels on assignment.
like you. I wanna be
like you. Come and see me, come and know me, come and search my heart to make me new, make me new. I wanna be just like you.